Welcome to ApexThis.Podcast, a chronicle of my journey into the world of publishing. This will be a behind-the-scenes look at what I'm doing to make that happen. I'll share tips and best practices that I learned along the way, tips that you can use to start your very own publishing journey and share your voice with the world. Coming up, the July monthly update. And I am back. Did you miss me? So let's dive right into it. Another short episode for the monthly updates. And yes, the second episodes of the months haven't been coming, which focus on specific topics, but I'm hoping to avail that soon. So the monthly focus, or the focus for the month of July 2021, is as the following. These are broken up into the primary focus and the secondary focus. For the primary focus for July was the weighted publishing, getting that short story out the door, the Crimson Door short story, and the Project Witch short story for Camp Nano. For the secondary focus, as always, is the AT podcast. So let's jump into the monthly hours and the time breakdown. The total time logged for the month of July is 23 hours and 53 minutes. Again, this is exclusively for Apex This and doesn't contain any other side projects that I may be participating in, such as another podcast called The Productivity Lab and a host of other writing projects and everything else. So the time breakdown or hours worked is for anything that's pertaining to Apex This specifically for publishing in that regard. So that 23 hours and 53 minutes breaks down as the following. Weighted with 8 hours and 52 minutes for the month of July. And this was wholly concerned regarding the publishing and marketing aspect of that. So prepping it, making sure that the ISBN is filled out. It was released exclusive on KDP, Kindle, which is great because then you don't have to worry about other publishing platforms and getting all of that situated. Something I would recommend if you're going a self-publishing route to just kind of limit your publishing scope in that regard. And it doesn't hurt that Amazon is still the number one for books and publishing. So that's the platform to hit. Outside of that was also marketing, setting up ad campaigns and things of that nature to reach out to users. This was also the first time I set up, related to ApexThis, the sub-author brand, if you will, updating the author website and creating a newsletter and having that be an enticement for that. So getting that infrastructure up for marketing was a lot of time spent there. Unlike when the mixtape poetry collection was released, that that infrastructure was not in place. Now it is, and I can use it going forward. Next on the list is Project Witch, a short story coming in at 9 hours and 15 minutes. This comprised of an outline and writing chapters 1 through 4. Also, for the month of July, the total words written for Project Witch is 5,782 words. That breaks down to about 624 words per hour. Next is Crimson Door with 0 hours. Ooh, we'll get into that. I did not start writing this one. This is one that I had already written as part of an experiment and made publicly available. It was just a challenge, and I wanted to go back, re-outline, and rewrite the story, and kind of put a little bit more work into that one. That may also be another marketing kind of opportunity since I publicly published the zero draft of that. All the screams and the horrors, right? But I did what I did, and I don't regret it. So I did not spend time writing that for the month of July because I already knew the story. I've already been in it. I did update the outline, but I figured I kind of wanted something new. So Project Witch got my focus. Continuing, we have ApexThis.Podcast with 2 hours and 22 minutes, and that was for the June monthly update. Lastly, we have the admin time coming in at 3 hours and 22 minutes. As always, that's the email, finances, taxes, planning, website updates, and everything else that you would incorporate as part of your admin time. Next up is finance. Unlike last month, there are actually no changes. So all your standard expenses apply, like website and podcast hosting, your software, and everything else. So no changes regarding finance. So a summary of the month of July 2021. What went well? I got Weighted published and out the door, and another project started, and that's Project Witch. So that's a new project, and it was started late in the later half of the month as part of my Camp Nano participation. But since the weighted short story rolled over into the month of July for all the publishing work that I needed to do, that did delay me in starting the Camp Nano project. So I only got to officially participate in Camp Nano for those 2 months, or 2 weeks rather, and we got this project started. So the outline, it was originally planning as a short story, and then as I updated the outline, that kind of expanded to 10 chapters. We'll kind of see how that goes. It could be a much longer short story, a novella, or part 1 of a 3-part story that's already ruminating in the annals of my mind. As mentioned, the total time is only focused on Apex This, so I don't talk about the personal time, such as my copy editing coursework, which is currently focused on personal development. So a lot of my time per week is spent doing that to a minor degree. Also, reviewing of a friend's story to do copy editing work also kind of consumed some of my time. So those are all extra things that I'm doing outside of Apex This. So what can I do better? I would say more gusto. I talked about it briefly, but projects rolled over into the month of July, which delayed action on some other things. There was definitely scope creep in projects, Project Witch did expand lavishly when I was updating the outline. And some of that, sometimes that can't be helped. But, when it comes to scope creep, maybe you'd argue that it can be helped. But I don't want to hear your arguments. So I thought I would have written Crimson Door, but I did not. That's just going to have to come at a later time whenever I finish Project Witch. So what's next? The focus areas that I have for the month of August is Project Witch. So for August, I want to continue the progress that I'm making on Project Witch, which I've already written, 5,700 words. Now, there is no hard deadline for this. However, I do have chapters outlined that I am writing to. So while there is no deadline, I do aim to write about 1,000 words per week. And that's about 142 words per day if you were writing every day. I do not. So we'll kind of see where that goes. In closing, I would say that it was a great month. I shipped a project and I started another. Ideally, I would be editing one project while writing another. Given that I don't do this full time, burning the midnight oil isn't something I should be doing in this regard, even if I am a night owl. So that's going to wrap it up for this month. I will see you in the next episode. Until next time.